Happy rainy
Dang.
morning to
Happy
y'all.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Shop Top Quinny fam. My name is Joshua Edwards. I'm your host of the Shop Top Quinny podcast, where we have meaningful conversations, organic conversations, non scripted conversations with entrepreneurs, professionals alike. And we talk about the real stuff, um, business, life, the ups, the downs. It's all fair game. But here's the point, and here's the purpose of these conversations: it's to bring hope, it's to bring encouragement to those who listen. We're trying to uplift the community through the real stuff and give people hope. And hey, I'm going through that too. Wow, I thought I was the only person struggling with that. Or wow, that person's up to something really cool, and that's something I'd like to do. And that's what we do around here. We want to encourage people. So I'm excited today because we have a highly requested guest here with us today. It's special today, none other than the very own Marianne Kerr is here with us today. How you doing, Marianne?
Good. Good intro. You are good at this.
Well, if the boot fits. Listen, I in all seriousness, I'm one of the reasons I'm super excited to have you on this show is that we talked a little bit in the past, and you had, you were kind of doing your business on the side,
Yeah.
and you had some other things going on, and you weren't quite ready to come to the show yet.
Yeah.
But since then, some things have changed. And I want to kind of start there and just have you kind of walk us through, like, how did you get started? First of all, what it is it that you're up to? Because I want people to know, how did you get started into that? And then what was that transition like from where we initially had a conversation to where we are
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So what I do is I do home organizing. That's my business. So I go into people's homes, families, and help with their clutter and their stress and kind of help their homes become more calm and organized. And when we first chatted, I was still working, yeah, full time, like in traditional employment, and was doing this just kind of on the side. It all started with just doing it for friends and family, which I feel like is fairly common for people with what they do. They're kind of just drawn to what they're good at. And so that's how it started. And then I was doing it on the side, and it was a lot, as you can imagine. I have two little ones, and I was working full time and doing it on the side. So it's a lot. Like when people say side
now?
hustle, I'm like, I, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so the stars kind of all aligned last month or a couple months ago, and I just decided to take the leap. And so I left full-time employment, like traditional employment, I guess, and have been doing my business full time, and it's been really good.
Okay, back up. I
Sure.
I I, I gotta know what gave you the courage to make the leap, because everybody's why is different. So I never want to
Yeah. Yeah.
generalize like
Yeah,
the
for sure.
the the why, because I mean, I don't want to minimize at all. Like, that's a huge
Yeah.
leap to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of doing this thing on the side to, like, no, let me go all in.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
for
was that?
sure.
What was
And
that
people
about?
and that's what people say, like, people will say, like, you're everything is so, like, clear and, like, really well explained and things like that. It's like, I'm thinking, like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I've been, like, years of, like, trying to figure out where I'm going. So it's only in the last literally in the last, like, probably, like, few months where it's sort of all come together, where if you're looking from the outside, it looks polished and, like, professional. But
Mm,
behind the scenes, it's like you try one thing and you're like, when you kind of, in the back of your mind, you need to do something, but you're not quite sure what it is. So you try this and try this and try this. And then you just kind of, it just kind of, You try a million things. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them kind of work, some of them kind of don't work. And then it just got to the point where I found something that felt like it stuck and felt like I could make money from it, basically. It's a big part of it, right? And
Mhm.
then in terms of the courage, like organizing and planning is my life. So to be honest, like there's a lot of the practical stuff. I kind of logistically made it happen in terms of like financially saving, preparing for that. And then just like forcing myself to. And like again, like to get the courage of it, like years, like years of like mentally preparing for that. So it's not like it's like I woke up one day and it got easy.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
for sure. I feel like not the case.
Talk about it. So okay, so I gotta go here because it's a huge factor for anybody that wants to start their own thing. Go from like
Yeah.
full-time traditional employment where it's comfortable.
It's
You
so
know
safe.
you, you
Yeah.
know that paycheck's coming
Yeah.
every two
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
You got that stability, like you're
Yeah.
good. So like let's talk money for a second because you said you
Yeah.
had to save up to
Yeah.
do this. What
Yeah.
did that look like?
Yeah. So that's like a bit of what I share too. Like home organizing is what I do as my service, but like budgeting and living within your means and kind of the financial aspect of it is just something I'm naturally drawn to and something I enjoy. So, and it's never talked about, like no one ever talks about it where I could talk about it like all day, every day. So,
Oh, we gonna talk about it today. I love this subject. We're gonna talk about it today. Keep going.
perfect.
Keep going.
Perfect. So yeah, so just like yeah, living within our means and figuring what that looks like with kids and then saving so that if I get 0 calls for the entire summer, we'll still be able to afford groceries. That kind of thing, like the
Wow.
basics, right? Like it
Wow.
doesn't sound like fancy, it doesn't sound like exciting, but I don't know.
Well,
That's the real stuff, eh?
it's peace of mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you what like it's so funny too because like I wanna I wanna be so aware of like the people that might be listening to this. Like you mentioned something so profound that I think a lot of people look at it and they might not be thinking that way, which is like you said something. You said, I have it set up so that if I don't get one gig all summer, not like for the next few weeks, all summer,
Yeah.
you can afford to buy groceries for the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
If you don't get one job,
Yeah.
what type of mindset did you have to conjure up to get? Because to me, that's an anomaly. I don't hear
Yeah.
that too often.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess just again, like planning is my thing, organizing is my thing, and budgeting. Like we had like a lot of people. I got my master's and it cost a lot of money. And we had debt. We had a lot of debt when we first had the kids, and it was extremely stressful, extremely stressful.
Mm.
And so we knew that just we did not want that to be our future. Like we didn't want to live like that. So we changed our lifestyle and we buckled down and we paid off all of our debt. And yeah, and since then, honestly, our mindset's totally changed. Like, yeah, it just, we don't feel the pressure to buy things and to live kind of, I guess, like when you're in traditional employment, you kind of have, you just like, yeah, you get stuck thinking that you need to live like everybody else does. And you just get so used to it. You think that that's like how you should and how it's supposed to be. And I
Yeah.
know you live like kind of different than other people.
Yep.
And I don't know your full story, but I just feel like I get that vibe. And um it feels so weird at first. Like it feels like, and people think like you're like living so, yeah, it's so weird, so extreme. People will say those words to me like extreme. I'm like, we just live like we have certain things that are really important to us and we focus on those and we don't focus on things that are not important to us. And
Oh,
it's easy to veer from that. It's easy to get stuck and thinking that what's something important to other people that needs to be important to us too. But
Yep.
once you kind of get really strong in that, yeah, it's like it's freeing, like freedom. Yeah.
I don't know if you can sense it through the screen. Marianne, my heart's on fire right now. It's on fire. Cause everything that you saying, I'm like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. Because
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, she's telling my story. Like
I knew I
that
liked you for a reason.
that was literally like the journey I went
Yeah.
on. It was like sat there one day, realized, man, our expenses are exceeding our income, and we had all
Yeah.
this debt piling up. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't want that for my family. I don't
Yeah.
want no.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and the next day, Marianne, I found this YouTube channel called Our Journey to Bliss. It still exists. You can look it up. They haven't
Okay.
posted in a while.
Yeah.
But it's this family of 5 that like downsized to like a
Yeah.
mobile home,
Yeah.
sold everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
And the next day, Marianne,
Yeah.
mobile home comes up for sale 5 minutes down the street from where I live.
See? Love that. Love that. That's amazing. Yeah.
Paid off every cent of debt.
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
And
I
and
love
then this
that.
company came up for sale.
Look at that, eh? See, the stars
So,
align, right? The stars align.
oh man.
Yeah.
So
I love
wow.
that.
So and so what did that look like for you guys? Because you said you had all this debt, you had to pay off debt. Like, walk me through what you actually did
Yeah.
to accomplish that.
Yeah. Um, we worked hard and we didn't leave the house for 6 months. No, kidding, sort of kidding. Okay, it was easy in that our kids were really small. So when it all first started, and so really all you're doing anyway is feeding, napping, that sort of life anyway. So it worked out perfect timing, like luckily. And we just paid. Like I don't even like to use the word sacrifice because honestly, it was like, yeah, like the best thing that's ever happened to us. Like it just changed our mindset. And I think I love the
That's
background.
that's my wife in the background. You in my
um,
show, girl. Oh,
Just tell her it's done.
she's got to grab her laptop. It's underneath mine.
that's real life.
Yeah. You good? All right.
But
Man.
yeah, so yeah, sorry. Yeah, so paying off the debt. Yeah, like the word sacrifice. Like it's like I guess we did, but it's honestly we just like changed our thoughts on things, to be totally honest. Like we didn't feel obligated to do things that we used to feel obligated to do, and we just started to focus on, yeah, like you talked about, you don't want that for your family, right? For your future. So that was a huge goal. Like when we knew we were going to have it paid off, it was, oh, it's like hard to talk about, but it was like based on the kids' ages. Like I remember being like, when like our oldest is 4 or whatever, like we'll be able to do this with him because we won't have this debt and we won't have this stress and we won't have all of this like hanging over us, and how that will be, yeah. That was a lot of it, was like focusing on our future, like with the kids and as a family and stuff.
I know exactly what you're saying when you talk about it doesn't feel like sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because we went from 2,200 square feet.
Yeah.
Now we living in 300.
Yeah.
And I don't, it doesn't
And you're probably
feel like a
happier.
sacrifice
You're probably
to me.
happier. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Marianne, you know what I figured out in doing this lifestyle?
Yeah.
I don't like to cut the grass.
Exactly.
I actually don't prefer to spend 2 hours on a
Yeah.
lawn tractor
Yeah.
when I could be playing with my kids.
Yeah. 100%. I'm with you there for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So less is more. I mean, you
Yeah.
clearly you're on that
Yeah.
point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah.
How is that how has that freed you up?
With our life, yeah. So yeah, like our schedule, our like commitments, and obviously like I did the business because that is like I do love it. Like I love it. And I probably
Mhm.
technically work more hours than before, but um like I choose when. And like being able to pick the kids up is like, yeah, hard to describe how amazing it is when you can never do that before.
Oh my goodness. Okay, can we talk about something for a second?
Yeah.
We get so, first of all, 9 to 5 is going away.
Yeah. It's hard to be, yeah. And when you
Nine
see everyone else not doing that, it's really hard to be in that. Yeah.
nine to
Yeah.
five is going away. But you
Yeah.
said something so profound, Marianne, and this is something that nobody's talking about. You work more hours potentially than you did before.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
And you're still happier.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody with some sense should ask the question why. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask it. Why?
Oh, that's a good question. I said this to, I remember when, like, probably a week or two after I quit, because obviously you cold feet, right? When you're leaving work, you're like, is this going to work? I have no idea. Like, this is so different. I had been in the same job for almost 10 years. Like, you don't know. And I remember after the first week or something, I said to Scott, my husband, I said, I get more satisfaction from making $100 by myself, like working for
Mhm.
myself versus $1,000 I would make from being kind of like stuck at a desk and being paid to, yeah. It's like, it's hard to
I'm with
describe,
you.
right? It's hard to
I'm with you.
describe. And when you have these clients and they're so amazing and you like, you can see like you're just, yeah, you're putting into the world like what you're good at,
Oh my goodness. This
right?
this this might be my yeah, this gonna be up there with one of my favorite interviews.
We're talking the same language.
Oh my goodness. Listen, this great resignation thing that everybody's talking about, and employers are like now forced to like pay out the yin yang.
Yeah.
What they're not talking about is a lot of these employees moving on to these companies that pay more, and then they realize that their schedule just got a whole lot more redonkulous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am 100% with you. I'd rather make the $100 doing my own thing than make the
Yeah.
1,000
Yeah. Yeah.
being stretched and
Yeah.
burnt out.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, so burnt out. So burnt out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for
Wow.
sure.
So I gotta ask this then. So with this business you're doing now, you're loving it, you're working more hours, you're building it up. When you think about the future and you think about what you're building, what do you see for yourself and for the business down the line? Is it a vehicle to something else? Is it something that you're always gonna want to be doing until you can't do it anymore? Like what's the initial vibes you have on this front?
Yeah, I don't have like a set plan of like it's a vehicle to something specific. Like I guess I hope it is, I guess. Um in some ways like just do more and more and more of the same message but in a different way.
Mm,
Um but I do love like I actually do love the clients and I do love being in the houses. But I guess the main kind of first step goal is to have a team. That's the one thing I would say I miss is I love having like other strong people around me and to like energize me and for different ideas and yeah, having a team is like my first kind of goal, I guess, to grow.
got it. Got it. I love that. Yeah, it's funny. Like when we think about kind of like building our own thing and the mindset. Actually, let's go here for a second. So we talked about your mindset, but obviously, like you have a family. You have people that you support and they support you. What did it look like y'all coming together and saying, "Hey, Marianne wants to do this, and how are we as a family going to support that, because that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Like
and
my,
not every family can say that they like. I have a TikTok page. I talk
yeah.
all the time about downsizing, living simple, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the number one rebuttals I get from people as
Mm-hmm.
to why they couldn't do it
Mm-hmm.
is family.
Mm-hmm. Like
Oh,
that they
my
have to
husband would
support. Oh,
my husband would never go for this. He would never
yeah.
do that. Oh, my kids would never. No, no, no. Like it's always the family. So walk me
Yeah.
through that, because I think that's a lot of people's hang up.
Yeah. I could see that, I guess. Um, okay, so first my husband, he's yeah, like a gem. Like he's so supportive and I could probably talk him into almost anything. Like I mean, like okay, this is he will say, I'm never gonna live in a trailer. Like say I gave that idea up, but I feel
Mm.
like in 6 months I could somehow convince him to do it. But also they see the like you have to do one little step and they see how amazing it is. Like it just as soon as you live it and you see all the benefits, like how can you argue with that? Like it's amazing. It's amazing. And like my kids are little, so I mean there's no convincing them that so that really was an issue. But they will say some little things like, why don't you work like there anymore? Like why can't we visit the office? And then I'll say, like, I get to pick you up at school. And then they'll be like, yeah, that's amazing. And then they go on with their day. Like, so that's easy. But even, yeah, with like bigger kids, I guess, I don't know how that would work. But yeah, with little ones and with my part, yeah, like, I don't know if you don't have a partner that's, I don't know, that wouldn't support that, that's hard. But I can't imagine that being the case. Like, I don't know.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper, because obviously the family extends and the friend group extends outside of who you got living in your home.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
face any critique, any
Yeah.
hold on, Marianne, what you doing, I don't know
Yeah.
about this? Face any of that?
Oh yeah, like every day. Yeah, and that is
Talk about that.
really hard. I find that really hard, like really, really hard, like hard to talk about. Like it's
Wow.
because it's like people that are your friends, like close, some of your closest friends. It's like, and I know that it's because like it's scary to them and like you're changing and they don't want you to change. And like I know all that. I know that practical side of it. And I know that that's why. Like I'll read all the things that tell me that that's normal. But like it's kind of heartbreaking, right? Like when you want to live like you're choosing something that's going to make your life better and that someone to have a negative reaction to that is like yeah, like heartbreaking. It's really
I, I,
hard.
I was just gonna ask that. I'm like, was there a part of you that felt like, um, almost like there was like a separation of like, wow, like I love you,
Yeah.
but I guess I have to go this alone.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And had to accept that.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
tough stuff.
Yeah. And it's like it was more with my friend group, I guess. Again, like just yeah. Yeah, it is tough. Yeah. And I can see that would be like that would be hard for people because it is hard for me even every single day. Like just not getting support from people that you think you're going to get support from
Hmm.
and and it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong or something like you shouldn't. But then you have to remind yourself like you have to follow your this is like your life, your path, your truth. So,
And just because I've struggled with this exact thing that you're
I
talking about. In fact,
bet.
we're
I
going through a
bet.
season right now where we're looking at 6 months here, 6 months in Florida, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of resistance.
Yeah,
A lot of resistance
I
because
can see that.
we the only people with the grandkids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. They don't want them gone.
do you find it's like a daily decision you have to make to choose to continue on with what you're doing in the face of that critique?
Yeah. Like sometimes hourly.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it makes you think that you're doing something wrong. It
Hmm.
makes you think that like that you're yeah, trying to hurt people or making terrible decisions even though deep down like
Yeah.
deep down that you're doing what's right for you and you're doing things to make your life better and everyone's life better. But yeah, to get that resistance from people who are the closest to you is tough. Tough.
Well, on that note, we're going to do something that I call the triple threat. And it's so powerful because what's going to happen in the next couple minutes before we end the show, Marianne, is
Oh
I'm
no.
going to ask you a question,
Okay.
and your answer is going to do three things. It's going to encourage the listener, uplift the listener, give them hope. It's going to uplift, encourage, and build confidence in yourself.
Okay.
And it's going to impact me.
Okay.
And
Pressure.
I'm excited for this. But just be you. Just be you, because it's real. You're living this stuff right now.
Okay.
So just give your heart answer.
Okay.
And the question is, what would you say to somebody who feels so heavily burdened by the thoughts, opinions, critique of others when it comes to the thing in their heart that they know they must do? There's no, like, if they were to not do it, a part of themselves would
Yeah.
die, as far as like
Yeah.
creativity, like, you know what I'm talking
That's
about.
yeah, that's a great way to put it.
What do you say to somebody who's facing that right now to encourage them and give them hope, considering what you are going through right now?
Okay, can I say like two things? One
Yes.
one is to just like it constantly, like when this comes up, it's like I have to pause. Like
Mhm.
I sometimes I have to actually pause like in the middle of like whatever I'm doing. Or like I have to if I'm at home, I have to be like, okay, I gotta take a quick break. And I legit have to sit down and think like, okay, like what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Remind myself that this is the right route. Like just take a moment. And it can be
Yeah.
whatever your moment is, like whether it's like you need to like go for a walk or something, anything, whatever your thing is, to like clear your mind so you can like listen. Like it sounds like so hokey, but like straight up like listen to like what's inside of you just for like a second and be like, okay, yep, I'm taking the right route, this is the right step. It might feel like 90% of me might feel like weird about it because it's something different, but just remind yourself that that is the right thing. And then secondly is to just make tiny small steps. Like
Mm.
again, like this one big leap was me leaving traditional employment, but there was like 70 million small tiny steps that led up to that. So like every single tiny step you take will get you there.
Powerful. Powerful. So lots of self-talk, like conversate with yourself, get
Mm-hmm.
quiet,
Mm-hmm.
walk yourself through and remembering the why am I doing this, what's the purpose, and then just take it one step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I'm super encouraged by this. It's always a joy and an honor to chat with people of a similar mindset, a similar framework. Doesn't happen every day, so when it does, it's to me it's a real blessing. And it was a pleasure to listen to what you had to say today, and just the real. Yeah, when we came on here, we said we was gonna have something meaningful. I wasn't expecting this. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting this. I thought we were gonna have a nice conversation, but I wasn't expecting us to go here. Um, so I really hope that anybody listening will get lots of value out of this. And man, I wish you all the best.
You too. Thank you so much for having me, Josh. It was so fun.
Yeah, I enjoy, and yeah, everything that you're doing. Huge fan of it. And yeah, you're going places. Keep doing what you're doing. You inspired me today. I appreciate it.
Good. Good. You inspired me too.
Awesome. All right, we'll stop the recording then.